Hello, everyone, and welcome back to In the Studio, powered by Beyond the Summit. Well, actually brought to you by Beyond the Summit and powered by 100TB. 100TB is a infrastructure service provider with 8 premium data centers around the world offering dedicated servers, cloud servers, and content delivery services. Visit them at 100tb.com. I'm Brian, K-Poptosis Heron, and I'm going to be your guest today. Oh, your host today, excuse me. Obviously, I've not hosted a whole lot before. And we've got a great episode lined up for you today.
You nailed it, Brian.
Got
Perfect.
it.
Didn't notice the difference at all between you and Andrew. Flawless.
I figured without the hair, I have like significantly less hair, it would be a struggle. But no, no struggle at all. That was seamless.
Yeah.
The struggle is not real.
Struggle is not real. Well, for real, guys, we have a wonderful show coming up for you. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the tournaments that have been wrapping up or getting close to being wrapped up with WPC and WPC West qualifiers. We're going to talk a little bit about Star Ladder. The LAN finals in Kiev are coming up soon. A lot of us will be headed out to there, so we'll talk about some of our predictions for that, some of the teams that made it, the teams that didn't. And we're also going to talk about some of the roster shuffles that have happened recently. Both LGD and Sigma/Dog have had a couple of roster shakeups, and we're going to talk about what that means moving forward. And we'll also go into a little bit about the drama this week with the shadow bans on the Reddit site, and we'll discuss what that means and just generally talk out what that is, because it's a very complicated subject. Guys, how are y'all doing today?
Hello.
I'm good. Yeah.
Nailed it.
That was fun to watch you just like sit and squirm and feel really awkward.
This is one of those moments where you should secretly be glad that you can't see stream chat.
You're usually behind the...
He can. That's
behind
right.
Oh, no.
You're usually behind the camera, so...
I'm not always behind the camera. Usually behind the
Usually.
camera. That's fair. Yeah. I think I did okay.
Anyways.
We still love you, buddy.
Yeah. You better.
Okay, so you're the host.
Moving
Next
forward.
topic.
Like I was talking about, WPC West, it just wrapped up, guys. We had the qualifiers, and we actually had some interesting tiebreakers. Cloud9 we know is in. They won some games out yesterday for some good performances, and we have a 3-way tiebreaker coming up tomorrow. LD, do you want to talk to us a little bit about that?
I mean, the West is just very tightly competitive and packed at this point. All the teams are even. There was like a joking... I think I saw like some sort of image where it's like there's basically rocks, paper, scissor between it was Alliance, Fnatic, and Cloud9, but you can make the same argument for Empire and Rockskiss and a lot of these other top Western teams. I don't know if I've ever felt like the Western scene is actually so even. Like you've got some teams that I'd probably put money on, but if you actually had to make a power rankings of the top Western teams, at least for online play, I don't know if there's any clear like favorites that you could put a lot of money on and feel confident about it.
It just changes so much from week to week. Like one week, one team's like, "Oh, Empire's in good form," but I mean, Empire was legitimately the team in the best form, but that's no longer the case now, and that's where things have really gotten a lot more even with the Western scene.
Navi was not in the qualifier. It's something worth mentioning. A lot of people noticed they were absent. They don't want to go to China, basically. So they went there, but for Alien World Cup, didn't like it too much. But I mean, it's not like we're lacking for good other teams in the event. And the real story is Cloud9. They're the only team that managed to qualify. They barely skate through. And
that's the thing. They finished first. They're hands down first place, and we're saying they barely managed to qualify.
Well, it was a one game thing.
Yeah. Like if you look at their overall record, it's actually not that impressive. It's like what, 2 wins, 1 draw, and one draw, 1 loss, or
yeah.
Okay.
It's
pretty solid.
They had 1 more win than the other teams.
Okay.
Like other teams would have 1 extra draw there, but I mean. You look at Cloud9, and I've cast with Bulba before, where he's basically said, if Cloud9 play their A game, they're the best team in the world. If they play up to their potential...
That's some bullshit.
I don't know if you agree with that, but that is
I
what
don't
he
agree
said.
with that either.
No,
That's what he said.
That's definitely
nonsense.
some bullshit.
They didn't
So you think he's just
They didn't
blinded by
qualify
his
for Star
holiness?
Ladder.
I think if they play their best, they can beat any team in the world.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if
I
that
agree
makes
with
them
that.
the best team in the world. I think they can beat.
Well,
any
maybe
team in
he's
the
just
world.
blinded by
I think
the
if you
aura
look
of his holiness.
because I think if you look at each individual role, like every player is amazing, but I think you can handpick a player who's maybe better at that specific role. And maybe Cloud9 they mesh together better as a team, but it's still a case of like you could think of probably better carry players in the world than Eternal Envy. You could probably think of some better mid players than Sing Sing. These are great players, but they're not the best in their individual roles necessarily.
Well, we can put AUI on the spot later when he comes in as a guest and see what he thinks.
Yeah. Ben, what do you think? Who do you think's the strongest team in the West right now?
I don't think it's C9. I'd
Okay.
probably still say Navi. When we did our power rankings last week, it was, DK, Navi, and EG.
I think
I'd
Navi
probably still
EG
say-
are top 2 right now.
Yeah.
They actually played a best of 3 today, which apparently was pretty good. We were
Server 1. Server 1. Every time it
That's
was
the problem, yeah.
Navi destroyed every time on Luxembourg, and then when EG, they would play on EUS East.
So it was a
EG
BO3
destroyed.
and those 2 games on USCs?
2 games on
That's
Luxembourg.
unfortunate.
2 games on Luxembourg.
What are you gonna do?
So
yeah,
Navi
Navi
won
lands.
the series.
have
Gotcha.
only lands from now
Gotcha.
on.
Well,
I know.
we'll see Navi
It's tough.
EG
It's tough.
on LAN in Kiev.
Right. It's not 100% of it, but it was
Have everyone play on Singapore servers
equal bad ping for everyone.
or Australia servers.
That was always an ongoing joke, like when you have all these server problems, like back when N9 were playing against European teams. It was like, look, let's just choose some random ass server in the middle of nowhere.
We'll have the same thing.
South Africa servers.
Yeah.
It's even, guys. It's
Yeah.
totally fair.
Yeah.
So, well, WPC West, there will be more tiebreakers, though. You mentioned that. Tomorrow, I think they begin at 15 CEST.
Yeah.
And there's 3 Empire, Alliance, as well as, oh god, who's the third team?
Dogma.
Empire, Alliance, and Dogma.
Dogma.
That's right. Well, never know what to call them. Are they Sigma? Are they
I like
Dog?
Dogma.
So who's getting through out of those 3? That's a big question.
Alliance came through in the last round of tiebreakers
Yeah.
for Star Ladder. I
I'd
think
probably
they do
say
it again.
Alliance.
I like Alliance. They've been playing really well recently. I think they definitely have a chance.
I think Empire's going
I
to
think
strike
Empire.
back.
I think Empire's going to take
Empire's
it, but it's going to be pretty close.
Well, moving on from that, we just had Star Ladder tiebreakers also wrap up just this week, which was a lot of fun in and of itself. Talking about all these tiebreakers and who finished up, we now have our Star Ladder Land Finals set from China. We're going to have DK. Correct me if any of these are wrong. DK, IG, I'm drawing.
for Star Ladder?
EG, MVP,
EG,
Phoenix,
MVP,
Empire, Navi, Alliance,
Navi,
Roxkiss.
Yes. And the two other, yeah. And those
How
two
could you
Chinese
forget
teams.
MVP Phoenix, Brian?
I don't know why.
Gosh.
Especially after their performance today. MVP Phoenix got like the first legitimate Korean win on like against a like
Well, it's
no
versus,
one team.
it's versus Beneski, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Beneski are kind of not playing very
Star
well
Tail
lately.
beat Team 1 at EMS1.
That's not a legit win.
Yeah.
No offense to Team,
Team
1.
One.
I mean, that's kind of, I say, as I flame them, I say no offense. But Team 1's not really a known team, at least. But Mineski at the
true.
same time are a known team,
Not-
but not always known for their consistency and their immaculate play.
And they got stomped. Like, it wasn't even a close game.
It was 2-1.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying in the first game.
Yeah,
The
first game was
they
a
won.
stomp. Next
they
two games
absolutely
were
stomped.
both quite close.
Yeah.
So,
So this is the first series win, I believe. Because everything else has been group stages, like best of ones. So I don't think a Korean team has ever taken a best of 3 series from a non-Korean
Yeah.
team.
Zephyr's played a few SEA tournaments. They've lost to like teams called Everlast, team from Thailand. They've
Right.
lost to Arrow Gaming. They've lost to Titan. So MVP
And
Phoenix.
Those are all best of ones in group stages,
Yeah.
right?
Best of like single limb bracket. They're playing this new SEA tournament where it's just like a 8-team single limb bracket,
okay.
and I think it's best of one though, and they.
Gotcha. Okay.
But like, do you even consider Zephyr like a true Korean team? Like MVP Phoenix, probably your more true Korean team.
It's tough to say. If you want to think honestly, like in terms of like, if you want to, they fit the best into
To
Korean
me, they're an
teams.
American team living in Korea. That's how I see them.
I mean, is MVP Phoenix really a Korean team?
For the most part, they speak Korean. That's how they communicate.
But
They're
aren't they a bunch of like NA Dota transplants for them largely?
Yeah.
of Korean background.
Who's the best actual legit like Korean team with like 4 or 5 players from Korea?
Oh God.
I think Well, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure about MVP Phoenix because they're kind of like American Koreans as far as I know.
Isn't Hot Six like entirely Korean? If so, they might be
No,
the best.
they're
So
not.
they're not. Okay.
Ryzen is actually from Korea, I'm pretty sure. March is an NA Dota player.
He's a Korean American.
Korean American. Heen, same as well, I believe.
Let's move on to something more important.
Ben's like I'm done.
We're talking about Korean Dota. Ben's like,
Start out
thank you
finals.
about Korean Dota.
How-
man.
I'm totally
We'll
uninterested.
segue. How do we think MVP is going to perform on LAN?
Terribly.
Terribly?
Demon says they're going to take one game. I mean, who are they going to beat?
I watched the
Yeah,
KDL
pick a team
finals
that they're
against
gonna beat.
Zephyr. They got
yeah,
shit stomped.
they got rocked. I don't see them taking a game.
Yeah, no. I don't see him taking.
I mean, they could, but if I had to bet whether they would take 1 or 0, I would probably bet on 0.
Because I mean, who's the weakest team they're going to be matched up against there? Like arguably Roxkiss.
Roxkiss, probably.
And that's still I
Roxkiss should not drop a game.
No,
in
they
MVP.
shouldn't. I mean, Roxkiss has a chance of doing extremely well in the tournament even.
They might not even be in the same.
But by the way, if
bracket.
we're talking about KDL finals, Blitz actually wants to come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
let's,
come
let's
on.
see if we can make that happen.
I love Flaming Blitz.
This is great.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
Hello,
William.
Korean Dota League champion. How are you?
Wait, it's not. I'm not on your topic list yet, so just call me back after.
Do you have a sexy webcam?
We don't have a Korean
It was-
Dota League
it was-
topic. I
Yeah,
don't
let's-
think
William, it was
Dude,
last.
I'm looking at this thing right now. It's a Star Ladder Land
Oh,
Final.
okay.
It's right after that. It says roster shuffle and shadow ban galore.
Can we get some?
And then
Can we get
right
some
after
cam
that,
girl
it
action
says
here, Will?
KDL
Can we get some cam girl?
Cam
please?
girl, please.
Come on, please.
Hold on.
We're
Do
going to
I
make an
actually have
exception
to?
for you, William. We're moving you up.
All right, hold on. Let me get my camera on then, if this is really necessary.
Press. It's like one
absolutely
button, Will. Click the
necessary.
button.
No, I have to
Just
turn on lights. Shut
plug
up,
it
one
in.
I have to turn on lights. Like, do
Lighting.
your hair.
sec.
Makeup.
Yeah, man, we have makeup.
Casually
We're gonna make you look
rumpled.
bad.
Call Kevin and just make sure you look okay on camera.
Shout out to Revlon.
We're waiting, Will.
Come on, man. Come on.
Man,
dude.
you are not
Anyway,
ready.
they did really well in the KDO finals. 3-0 MVP Phoenix looked well. Earned themselves what, $10,000? Sent MVP Phoenix away with 0.
There we go.
MVP Phoenix got money for actually getting
Hey.
to the final.
Who's that
Oh,
handsome
okay.
devil?
Oh, there he is.
That's me.
So, do you think MVP Phoenix is going to take one game off any of the people at Starladder?
There we go.
Yeah, there's William.
Let's be
If
honest.
I was a okay, who's their group again? It's like DK, Navi.
The
Uh,
groups
the
are not set
The
yet.
groups are not
It's
set.
DKIG,
Even
Navi.
if they have the easiest group in the world,
Yeah.
like give them the 3 easiest teams, do you see them taking a game?
I
Who
mean,
are the
crazier things have happened, gods.
Like
That's
what?
not.
What-
That's a non-answer.
What crazier things? have
It's,
done?
it's a yes or a no.
Now you grow a mustache and you think that looks good. I don't know how much I
We're
trust
going
you.
there, Will. Okay.
We really are, dude.
At least he
Um,
can grow facial hair. He's got that going for him.
No, it's
Barely.
not that I can't. It's that I don't want to at the present.
Mhm.
Sure.
It's a choice.
Give us a yes or no,
I
William.
guess. I think it's possible, but is it likely? Probably not.
So that's a no.
And if you think they're gonna win, like which team would they beat? If you had to pick one team that they can knock down, who would it be?
Shit.
I'll give you the list of teams: Rocks Kiss,
Okay.
Fnatic, Empire, Navi, DK.
It's not Fnatic.
IG or sorry, not Fnatic.
Alliance.
Alliance. Alliance is the 4th European team, and EG.
Oh god, that's so hard.
Are you regretting your opinion now? A little
Basically, they're fucked.
Yeah, I mean that would be hard for any team. So I don't. No comment.
No comment.
All right.
I just heard no.
I'm disappointed.
Ben, stop blaming my scene. It hurts.
bit? Why are you such a Korean Dota hater? Will?
Whatever.
Aren't you supposed to be like growing and supporting the scene there a little bit?
Dude, I am. Ben's the one hating on Koreans as he dates.
You're laughing as you're saying it. You're not even
Can't even
serious.
take yourself seriously.
I'm laughing because somebody tickled me. Like that's
How is that possible? Are they under your desk?
Bambo's sitting right next to me.
So okay. So what do you think of the KDL finals, Will? Compared to NSL, how did you like the tournament format? They had kind of an interesting, like you win a little bit more prize money each consecutive win, but the grand finals aren't worth as much. How did you feel about that?
I thought the prize thing was kind of cool because it meant every team had a chance at winning something, regardless of how they did, right? Like if you win a game, you get 5K. Like that's not too bad, right?
Yeah.
And it rewards teams for kind of it forces teams to like take every game seriously, so there's like no shadiness between like trying to fix a seed or something. Like you're always playing your best. But the only issue that I had with the tournament format itself was that the finals were kind of set after like the first 3 games or something, right? Because us and Phoenix are like the only teams with wins. So in that regard, it kind of makes it not too exciting for the viewer to follow, right? Because it doesn't really feel like you're playing for anything other than prize money, and that was the biggest thing I had an issue with.
Okay, fair
Now,
enough.
there was an all-star game before it. How did none of you guys get chosen apart from Bambo? Like, what was the deal there?
So the guy told me before that me and Corey were banned, and then Aosin also got banned. So the way that they did it was they did like a ban draft, like a
Okay.
pick draft, like in CM mode, but with players, right?
How was Bambo not banned?
I don't. Oh, because
Did
they
people just
wanted to see a
expect him to
Zephyr
throw?
player in there.
Okay.
No, they wanted to see a Zephyr player in there. So
okay.
Was Purge banned?
I don't think so. I think Kevin was the only one not banned or picked from the team.
Damn.
Poor Kevin.
Oof.
Yeah, poor Kevin.
Why did they not televise that? That would have been interesting to watch.
Yeah,
They
I-
did, but they did it for like their SPO TV shit or whatever.
Oh, yeah, we couldn't
okay.
actually broadcast the Korean stream.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's where we got shut down. We get in trouble for that.
Banned.
They don't love us.
We wanted to show your face on our stream, Will, but we weren't allowed.
What do you think about the qualifiers for Southeast Asia and Korea?
What do you mean? Like
How do you think you're going to stack up versus the other teams? Who do you think is going to make it through? Who do you think is going to be second place
You're talking about
Oh.
for TI4?
for TI4?
Oh, for TI4?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say hypothetically, like we get in, right? Then the teams that I think will get in will be us, MVP Phoenix, Scythe. I think Titan will get a direct invite, right?
Let's say they do, just for argument's sake.
Yeah. Okay. Scythe, RRQ, Arrow, Orange, Mineski, and I'm missing somebody here.
Execration,
Execration?
maybe? Probably Execration.
I
don't know.
I mean, we were 1-2 against Orange the night before. We haven't played RRQ since that best of one, and like I don't think people. I think people underrate the Korean scene in the sense that like they look at how tier 2 teams do, and then they look at like Korean Dota, and it's kind of bad in that regard. But like the top 3 teams are okay. Like any of us could take a game off a C team. I'd say our odds of getting first in that qualifier are really, really low, but our odds of getting second kind of because I think Scythe will win the qualifier, to be honest. And then I think it'll be between like us, Arrow, and like RRQ. And then that's, I mean, we don't, it's not like we're favored against any of those teams, but it's not like we do terribly either.
You know, if Scythe wins, it becomes quite interesting because Miracle has national service. So
Oh, does he really?
can you get like a leave of absence from
He
that?
hasn't started national service yet, but they've got one player already in national service.
Okay.
Chibik. So.
So what do you do at that point? I don't know. But
That's
Dude,
also-
it's international. You fucking skip that shit. You play hooky.
You can play hockey on national service.
I didn't see why not. Just apologize
Military,
afterwards,
whatever.
and you're.
So Will, you think Scythe is the strongest team outside of Titan if we assume they get invited?
Yeah, just from scrims we played, I think like even when we play Titan, Scythe feels harder for some reason, but I'm not sure why.
It's the Rat, man. The Rat is very strong with Miracle.
Dude, okay, so like we play scrims and we're just like, okay, we'll experiment and stuff. And Miracle plays Naga every single game. Like we scrim and we're just like, what's the point of this? Like,
As soon as he picks
Never-
Naga, you should just GG out and go next.
yeah, I just like we played like 3 scrims. Every single time they pick Naga. And I was like, why are we doing this? Like, come on, dude.
He's gonna be really good at Naga. Naga Siren
He
will
is
be the
good at
Naga
Naga.
Siren of TI4, like Naga Siren was the Naga Siren of TI2 at TI3.
But he is good at Naga.
That's
That's what I don't understand. Like, you don't need to continue playing that hero. You've hit the top mark, man.
We get it. Apologize for picking that hero. Was that the intro comment? Apologize for playing that race.
I don't know what to say. No, I'm just messing around though.
So you think you'll get invited though? You think you'll get a shot?
I mean, maybe we'll get a shot. I don't know. I'm trying not to be too optimistic about things.
Well, it
so I
all
don't
comes
like
down to
get
how
my
many-
hopes up.
How many teams there are per qualifier, right?
Yeah, if it's like
Probably
4, then
I
I
would
don't think
assume.
we really deserve one. I think like Scythe, Arrow, Orange, and like
RRQ maybe.
yeah, I think they have better resumes.
Mythtrust?
I mean, they
Good to get
called it
Mythtrust
the
in there.
they
Oh,
called it-
Mythtrust is the other team. Then maybe they get
Oh,
invited
yeah,
over
yeah.
a team like Execration or you guys are MVP Phoenix.
I mean,
as well.
Valve called it the SEA Korea qualifier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be
Oh,
really
Well, no,
bad.
on gamers. I think on gamers called it the SEA Korea
Oh,
qualifier.
okay.
Well, they clumped up a bunch of regions together. It was like SEA, Korea, even like Australia and New Zealand were clumped in there.
Oh,
So
okay. I was about to say
Basically,
it'd be
like
weird to
Asia
call
that
it-
isn't China has its own qualifier.
yeah,
Okay.
non-China
Yeah.
Asia region.
Because in my mind, it'd be weird to call something the SEA/Korea qualifier, then not invite a Korean team.
That was just like the
Okay.
server clusters or something they had
Fair
for.
enough.
I'm not sure how it worked.
Okay.
Because I don't think a New Zealand team is going to get
Well,
invited.
Will, thanks for coming on the show, buddy. We wish you the best of luck training, and hopefully we'll have you back soon.
Can I have my shoutouts right now?
Sure.
Should I just hang up on him?
Yeah.
Wait, no. Why is this? Dude, I've
Okay,
given you
okay.
guys
Make it quick, buddy.
Loyal
Quick.
service. I'd like to give a shout out to every single person in the world not named David. You make the world a ton better.
Yes. I'm not named David. Me and Ben.
Oh yeah,
Strong.
represent.
Okay.
Thanks, Wilhelm.
All right. Well, moving on from that, there's been a lot of roster shuffles lately. LGD CN cannot decide who they want to be their new 5th player.
Yeah.
They started out with, I believe it was
Maybe.
and then he either that wasn't a team decision, right? He
It was
decided
never really
to-
clear why he got replaced.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
And so they replaced him with Icy, correct? And then that didn't work, and now they have him replaced with who currently? It was
With
like yesterday.
Lin, who
Lin.
used to play for Rattlesnake under the name of All Beauty Must Die.
Oh yeah, I remember. that.
They didn't do very well. He didn't win very much, but I think anything's an upgrade from Icy. Icy was looking
Really?
awful when he was
Okay.
playing with LGD.
I know the record wasn't very good. I ran the numbers, and they were like 1-9 with Icy.
And just looking at Icy's play, it was very questionable at times. They played a best of 2 last night against DK. They drew the series
Yeah.
1-1.
They played really well.
The win they got was against a Meepo pick, but it was still like a legitimate legitimate game from DK. It was an awesome game, definitely worth checking out. Like it's probably the best game of the past week.
MMY
but-
Meepo, it was legit. The Orchid build, maybe.
The Orchid was awful, yeah.
Not
but-
so much, but it's a good idea.
But they looked really solid. I think Lin actually looked more impressive than he's looked in the past, but I still don't look at LGD as a top tier 1 Chinese team.
Okay. And moving on from that, we also had the Sigma Dog issue, where it seems as if the Germans of Sigma have parted ways with fucking mad Miggle and Sachka. Is Miggle French? I know
Middle's
Sachka-
Danish.
Danish. Okay, so it's not necessarily a French-German
Yeah.
split, but almost.
They only kept the Germans.
Exactly. And so the Germans are still playing as Sigma in the WPC qualifiers because they got in as Sigma, correct?
Yeah.
I think
But
that's
with
more of
three
just a
stand-ins.
formality with the admins because
Exactly.
the admins invited Sigma, so
Right.
they don't want a team named Dog playing either. Maybe I don't know.
So half of Sigma and Dog have coalesced into this team we're calling Dogma.
Yeah, which seems pretty strong. I'm in that top 8 Western
Wait, so
team
who's their lineup
discussion
now?
for sure.
They have Pycat, Misery, and
MSS.
the only American still on the team. And they added in Pos and Fada.
It's pretty strong.
It's a very strong team. They played really well.
My question is, what's happening with the rest of the team? Are they making a new roster?
Well, they
Fuck
were
you, man.
they were playing in the Fragbite Masters with like a few different standards. So they had Funzy playing one of the games. They had
He retired, right? Same way Winter retired and comes back to playing.
Winter's retired too many times.
Don't-
There's a lot of
retirements mean
retirements.
nothing.
It's no.
Yeah.
Remember Burning? We made a big deal about was Burning.
Well, he
slash
was. I mean, he
TI.
made like one offhand comment, like, "Oh, I may
okay.
retire." Like he never
Oh.
committed to anything. That
Well,
was more like a.
was
That was a
perpetuated.
Marley making article that to blow out a comment out of proportion to get some page hits.
Right.
I love you, Marley.
But that got
Yeah.
perpetuated.
There was
lot.
never
Burning
a like,
gonna
I am
retire.
planning to retire after this TI. That was
Okay.
at least from the statement that was quoted in the article. It was never like I'm retiring after this TI. It's like I'm thinking about retirement because obviously I've been playing for a while. But it's like every player thinks about retirement. Well, every player who's been around for a while, they obviously have it's crossed their mind.
I mean, Dogma is a team that is a serious threat to take the EU qualifier, though. I don't see them
No,
getting
I agree.
invited with the roster changes, lack of LAN results, and just being a bit just new, basically, as a team. But
Right.
they're a serious threat to take the qualifier.
So what do we think? Do we think that they're going to kind of ditch the Sigma name and it's just there for formality purposes?
I think they're
right
still
now,
looking for a
WPC?
sponsor, and it's just a temporary placeholder thing, but I could be wrong. I don't know for sure.
Now, talking about that and talking about with invites and stuff and roster changes being a big part of whether or not Valve chooses to invite some or not, we saw last year LGDCN made a last-second roster change, got kicked down to the qualifiers, and had to play their way into the international after going undefeated in the group stages the year before. So it shows that they don't really have any.
That was after the invites had already gone out. Was to
Right.
me the big thing there. Like
Right.
once you're invited, no changes.
Well, do you think that some of these recent roster changes do hurt some of these teams going in? Do you think if Team Liquid was maybe playing better, but for some reason had issues like off, outside Dodo with Fluff, and they decided to get rid of him, but they were playing like a team that needed to be invited, would they not get invited?
I think they might. I think the good example there of a team that actually does fit that category is look at EG. Like they're essentially playing with a different roster right now. Like
Right.
the idea is obviously that Fear playing at TI, but Fear has not been playing with them for the last like 4 to 5 weeks,
Yeah,
however
for a
long
while.
it's been, and that's where EG's going this hot streak. So in theory, EG is saying, look, we want an invite, but we're going to be playing with Fear. So they haven't actually shown that roster, but I think EG is a team who deserves an invite, and it will probably get one, but
Right.
like it's going to, I imagine, be with Fear.
Do you think if they don't show the invites for a while, Dogma shows up, wins their tiebreakers at WPC, goes to WPC, and say they win WPC, do you think a team like Dogma should get invited, or have they been just
I think it's
too late.
qualifiers. It's
It'll be too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be too late at that point,
WPC's
that's right.
offline portion is in May. It's like in the middle of the qualifiers. It starts before it, but it continues into it. So
Okay, that's true.
it's too late.
So you don't
Yeah.
think there isn't really much of a chance to even prove themselves. So I
Well,
guess that's one of
Starladder's
the
a big one, but
issues.
they're not at Starladder. So
They prove themselves in the qualifiers.
Starladder's the last chance
So,
for
yeah.
teams to prove themselves. But you look at every team at Starladder, they're getting invited apart from MVP Phoenix. So
All right, well, we have one more topic before we're going to take our first break. We're going to talk about a little bit of drama that went on this week in the Reddit sphere. There were a lot of content creators, Cyborg Matt specifically, a lot of the On Gamers crew, also Dota.
Everyone
Cinnamon
who is
Neil.
affiliated with On Gamers, apparently.
And also Dota Cinnamon Neil. He was so nice. He got shadow banned as well.
And also everyone from 2p.com. That's the other
Right.
big website.
that was actually an older one, which never like got any
Okay.
publicity. It happened like a few weeks before On Gamers.
But
Thoughts?
it's weird because I don't really understand the admin's decision. I guess I get the point. That they don't like people directly promoting to their website, and they're afraid that there's some vote manipulation going on, which is hard to prove, by the way. But if you're gonna do it, I think you made a very good point in a thread, LD. You were like, there's not a really good example of what is okay and what is not okay to post. There's no, this is good, this is bad, this will get you shadow banned, this is passable. There's none of that. It's basically left up to the discretion of the Reddit admins.
Yeah, they have this like apparent like 9-to-1 ratio thing, but it's just who's actually like
He
you have to
even
start
said
counting posts.
He even said it's just a guideline. Like it's not
Yeah.
something each subreddit kind of has their own rules. I think the big thing is like it's the line of what's okay, what's not okay. It's not really clear. It's not clear, but at the same time, if you look at what On Gamers were doing, they were definitely on the wrong side. I think if it's other parties like Join Dota, even us sometimes, where it's unclear if what we're doing self-promotion or okay.
Right.
But you look at On Gamers, every article they write, they just do a direct link with the post there and looking to get page hits. So
Well, the weird thing is not just that; it's that they tweet their Reddit links instead of article links. Sometimes it's like
they're clearly like tweeting the Reddit link to try to
that's the point. It's like if you tweet a self post, that's one thing, but they're tweeting the links to the Reddit
Like,
posts,
why
which are
wouldn't you
links
just
to the
why
thread.
wouldn't you just directly tweet the article?
Yes.
Because then people like have to go to the Reddit post, then they have to click the article link. It's they're not asking for upvotes, but it's that's the implication when you tweet the Reddit link. So
Maybe they just want feedback through Reddit comments instead of.
there's a
through-
comment section on their website. Not to say people are registering and making accounts to leave comments, but look, I don't think Cyborg Mac obviously adds a ton of value, and I don't think he, with hands down, should not be banned from the subreddit. That's a huge joke in itself.
Can we
but-
get banned from our own subreddit? Is that
That's another
is that
thing,
a thing
like,
that can happen?
What if we do nothing but shamelessly self-promote on our own subreddit? Will that
Banned.
get us banned? Will we be
Shadow
shadow
banned.
banned? We'll have to approve our own comments as moderators of our own subreddit before they'll go through.
Well, the other thing that's interesting about this is not just the actual Reddit issue, but is there a need for a new like community hub that's not Reddit? Cyborg Matt's pushing to make one. Toby's made comments on
Nothing's
and
gonna
posts that they want to
don't
do it.
know.
I don't feel like they're
nothing's
serious
gonna
though.
work.
I don't think anything's gonna work.
End of the day, people are gonna go to Reddit. That's where people are. That's what people like.
I think someone did the math, and it was something like 86% of On Gamers traffic was from social media, and of that social media, 97% of that was Reddit.
Yeah.
So if you do the math, it was something like 80% of their traffic was coming from Reddit specifically. So place obviously has a lot of power. Like, we post reminders every day when we're going to do stuff, obviously, because it's a big audience. People want to be able to use that. But I think what it boils down to is there need to be better guidelines about how to do it, because people want it. The community wants it, and that's what Reddit is at the end of the day. It's a community hub, right? You upvote, you downvote what you want to see and what you don't want to see.
Well, I think the way it should happen is they should be tweeting. I mean, they can tweet whatever the fuck they want. That's the end of the day. But in theory, they should let their followers know through their Twitter, like, here's a link to our article. If their followers like it, they're like, hey, that article's good. Let's go post on Reddit to share with more people. Like, the problem was that it was constantly On Gamers people posting On Gamers
Is
links.
that so bad though?
I
Like
mean,
if
we
people
do
don't
it.
like it, they just downvote it.
I mean,
yeah.
so what?
I mean, if that's anything would go to us, we would have to go on Twitter. It's like, oh, by the way, guys, we're starting Beyond the Summit in 2 weeks. Someone should make a Reddit post.
I mean, just because you
Like-
post a Reddit post doesn't mean you're like asking for upvotes. Like it's just giving more visibility.
I think it's okay to do it like with the big thing with Reddit is you do it some of the time, but for On Gamers it was like every article they did there was a Reddit post, and they didn't post much.
I mean,
Cyborg Matt being the big exception there because he does a ton on the Dota 2 subreddit.
To be fair, some of the ways that people are trying to get around the rules are just completely stupid. Like, you've been posting Join Dota article links. I saw one of the
Dude,
Team
that
Liquid
was
guys
just taking
posting
the.
Ghost of
I mean,
Gamer,
everyone's
like-
just taking the piss at the moment. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think
I was-
anyone's actually.
I posted a Dota Center video, so I was
Yeah.
just taking
Everyone's getting their subtle, not so subtle licks, I suppose.
Yeah. Well,
The moral of the story: fuck Reddit.
fuck Reddit. Let's move on.
All right, well, that's actually going to be it for the news section. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we're going to bring in some professional players, and we're going to have a nice little discussion about the ever-looming patch 6.81 and what we think we'll see. Join us here in a bit.
Ii-sama.